Okay, go ahead, sir. Discuss the material requirement planning.
Okay. Hello. Good afternoon. Hi. This is Leonard Salazar. Please do call me Leo if you have any questions later. Okay. MRP. Well, MRP stands for Material Requirement Planning, and the first question that we want to know is what is the purpose of MRP, or what is actually MRP? Well, MRP is a computer-based production planning and inventory control system. Basically, it's a system that helps production to have an overview on inventory levels, the production capacity, and what are the market demands. So it also attempts to adequate yung inventory levels and to assure you that the required materials are available when you need it. So an addition and to add on that, MRP is also a planning and decision making tool used in the production process which analyzes yung current inventory levels or inventory status nyo versus doon sa product capacity and then doon sa market demand. So okay, to give an example, this is uh, I know everyone is familiar naman sa yoyo, right? Okay, when you do or when you, for example, when you manufacture a yo-yo, you need this for example you need these items or materials. Okay. Now, MRP helps you or helps the business or the manufacturing business to make sure that these raw materials from strings, wooden sides, peg, and cardboard boxes are uh, arriving on time for the production. Kasi when it comes to manufacturing and production, there's a schedule that you need to meet. There's a schedule that needs to be followed. So MRP just do that. They see it a system or it is a tool that helps uh to give a holistic view on where you're at on your inventory and if you're still on your production schedule. Now, this is an example of MRP functions, which is MRP is part of ERP, which is I think madi-discuss sa mga susunod na presenters. But MRP deals specifically with the control and management of manufacturing inventories and the products produced by those inventories. So as you can see here on the right side, on this figure, si MRP uses the forecasting from the sales history. So when you forecast something, you forecast the how much items or materials you will be needing to in order to produce. For example, nga yung yo-yo, you need to forecast how much do you need, how much materials you need in order for you to have the output of yo-yo. Uh, it also consists of the forecasting of market demand. How much is the customer needs for this kind of items that you want to produce? So that is a functions of MRP in which si MRP yung nagpo-process nun lahat, and then this system gives you the information that you need in order to manufacture orders, to have a holistic view on your inventory levels or in your inventory status, to have a view on what is the requirement of your customers, and how much are you willing to spend for those materials in order to produce it on the production or on the manufacturing level. So to deal on with that, to go deeper than that, this is a major three functions of MRP, which is forecasting, reducing waste, and floor control and scheduling. First is forecasting. Okay, this is one of the primary functions of MRP. Like what I mentioned earlier, you need to forecast your inventory levels, your production schedule, and the demand from your customer. Okay, si forecast level, forecasting is uh, eto yung dito niya pino-forecast everything that you need on the production. Not just from the raw materials, not just from the customer's demand or customer requirements, but especially on the production schedule. Kasi if you can't meet your production schedule, it's a chain reaction. Hindi mo ma-meet yung customer demands. And at the same time, your inventory levels will go high. And no company and no manufacturing want that. So this is an essential function of MRP. That's why most of the manufacturing or big manufacturing companies are investing on MRP systems. Second is Wala yung reducing waste. Okay, second is for reducing waste. So MRP system also helps manufacturing companies or whoever handles the inventory levels to forecast to reduce the waste of of their inventory levels. For example, dun sa Yoyo, okay, on a production level, or on the production schedule, you need to produce like 1,000 set of Yoyos for, let's just say, a month. Okay. Now, in order to reduce the waste, you only need to procure or to produce doon sa inventory mo yung tamang amount or tamang quantity ng mga materials that you will be needing for the production for that month. So it reduces your inventory cost, it reduces your freight cost. So MRP, you can see all of that on MRP in order for you to reduce the cost that incurs when it comes to your production. Last is the floor control and scheduling. So the same data is used by MRP to forecast materials and reduce waste. That's what I mentioned earlier. Now, as for the floor control, because MRP is a system, it's not a manually human process. So if there's any adjustments needed for the MRP or for your production, MRP system can automatically make those changes. It can show you the changes that you need. For example, on your inventory, sa pag-order mo, there's what we call fortuitous or inevitable events. For example, a typhoon. And your raw materials will be delayed for a couple of days, let's just say 3 days because of the typhoon, kasi galing pa siya sa ibang bansa or some sort. So, si MRP needs to adjust the production schedule and the inventory level. So instead of having, let's just say, ordering 1,000 set of strings for the 1,000 sets of yo-yo that you will be needing to produce on the same month, si MRP i-adjust niya na yon. Let's just say gagawin niya ng 1,500 para ma-cope up or para mahabol niya yung naging delay for 3 days. So that's why MRP is being invested really, most of the big companies investing on MRP systems because instead of doing it manually, parang automated na siya, hindi ka na mahihirapan, and yung real-time na data niya is kaya mo agad makita. And having the real-time data or having fast reports that you can produce or you can navigate in the MRP system, it really changes a lot of things when it comes to production schedule and manufacturing. Now, this is a holistic view on how MRP works. So from the MRP, there's what we call master schedule, or ito yung tinatawag natin ng production schedule. There is a bill of materials, the materials that you need for your production, and the inventory file or the inventory status or inventory level. Now, these three points will be inputted on your MRP system. Now, si MRP system, ibabalik niya yung information which is we call inventory transactions doon sa inventory mo, or let's just say sa warehouse management mo, in order for them to keep on updating kung how much ba yung nagamit for the production, how much din yung kailangan ulit i-reorder para ma-meet yung production schedule. And you can get two types of reports from MRP system, which is the changes, order releases, plan order schedules. That's what we call primary reports. And for the secondary reports, yung performance control reports naman. So for an example of primary reports, andyan yung mga PO, which is what we call purchase orders. Nandyan yung mga invoices kung saan kay MRP system mo makukuha kung how much yung dapat mong bayaran for the certain amount na in-order mo for your inventory levels. You can get it there. Secondary reports naman, this is more on the planning side. In order for you to improve yung performance mo, so what are the things that you still need to improve on your production? Bakit nagkaroon ng downtime level dun sa production mo? Ano yung naging kulang? Saan nagkamali? Those are the secondary reports that MRP system can give to you. Okay. So this is an example of brands of MRP system that most of the companies are using nowadays. Alam ko medyo familiar tayo especially on Oracle and IQMS. So, kagaya for example sa amin, we use Oracle as one of our MRP systems. but not on everything sa inventory and the other entities lang yung gumagamit niyan. But most of the companies nowadays are using IQMS. So to give an example as well, this is the dashboards that you can see from IQMS. Ito yung manufacturing dashboard in which this is where you can see yung efficiency of overall equipments. This is an example of the production schedule or the master schedule na kayang ibigay ni MRP from IQMS. And this is an example of holistic view or summary page ng dashboard in which dito mo makikita yung actual availability, quality, how much yung nagiging scrap, you can see also there yung OEE trend, which is the market trend, nasan ba yung demand ng customer, malakas ba yung requirement nila, so kailangan mo bang mag-produce or some sort. Also, you can see there the production and total downtime hours in which saang month or year ka nagkaroon ng mababa yung production output. You can see all there. Sobrang dami niya kasi and very complex kung ipapakita pa lahat. So this is just an example for you guys. Now, we want to know is it important to have an MRP system? Well, the importance of MRP system is it ensures an accurate material planning and purchasing. If you want an accurate material planning and purchasing, you would want an MRP system because you can also track kasi yung production series, yung quality levels, even yung expiry dates ng mga materials na pinrocure mo. Of course, lahat ng materials has what we call lifespan or expiration. So of course, kailangan magamit mo yung mga materials na yon before it expired or before maubos yung lifespan niya. Kasi if you won't gonna use that, that's a cost, that's an expense. And no companies want that, di ba? And the transparency and overall process and standards, MRP, you can get all of that on MRP. So as an personal opinion, MRP is really important when it comes, especially on manufacturing businesses or manufacturing companies. Now, what are the advantages? First is it can reduce your cost. Definitely, it will reduce your cost of production. Second, low inventory levels. Most of the companies don't want their inventory to be in full capacity at all times because it incur what we call inventory cost. So you want your inventory to be in low levels kasi baka hindi mo na ma-monitor which materials yung kailangan mo nang gamitin, which materials yung may-expire na pala. Something like that. It is a better response to your market demand, meaning kung ano yung requirement ng customers mo, you can meet all of that because you have a holistic information of your production levels of their demand, right? So it also has a better customer service and it can improve your capacity allocation and planning. Now for the disadvantages, kasi nga MRP is a system, of course you have to invest. Hindi mura si MRP system. Really need to invest on that and it costs high. I'm just not sure how much it is, pero hindi lang kasi sa pagbili mo sa MRP system, it's more like a subscription na you renew every year. And once you buy an MRP system, you also need to maintain it. There's a professional for example on Oracle, meron lang mga professionals na ina-accredit si Oracle in which sila lang yung pwedeng mag-maintain if ever nagkaroon ng issues yung MRP system mo.
Simon!
That's another expense or cost. Second, yung installation of necessary equipment, of course, you need a computer for it, pero not just any computer. There's a certain specifications that you need in order for you to install this MRP system. And again, it will cost you again. Third, yung planning and implementing. For example, you're from the manual operating, then i-implement mo or there's gonna be a transition to the MRP system. Lahat kasi i-input mo manually, so it will take time for you to plan and for you to implement. And last thing is, like of what I mentioned earlier, manually kasi yung data entry niyan kapag nagkaroon ng transition and you have to maintain the files. You have to back up the files at some sort. So it's one of the disadvantage of MRP. Okay, as for the conclusion, we need to answer the question, is it worth it to invest to an MRP system? Well, to answer that, if you are in a manufacturing business, yes, definitely it is worth it. Because using an MRP system, it simplifies kasi yung complex and time-consuming operation, and that is the materials requirement planning. Also, it enables the business to better manage yung orders and organize their materials. And it gives us what we call concrete structured planning process that eliminate errors. Kasi when it comes kapag manually processes and everything is handled by human, there's a higher risk of human error. And when you're dealing with MRP, especially for example on inventory levels, even if just one number lang yung nadagdag mo or nabawas mo, it will have a chain reaction. So I think personally having an MRP system is worth it, and it is important when you are on a manufacturing business. So that's it for my presentation. I hope we learn and we learn something about it. If you guys have any questions, please do ask.
Okay, so if you have some questions with the presentation of our of Sir Leonard, you just post your question in our chat box. Okay, so again, there are a lot of advantages discussed by our presenter regarding the MRP system, no? Because again, as what he mentioned, the materials requirement planning system is a planning and decision-making tools used in production process which analysis current inventory level versus production capacity and the need to manufacture goods based on forecast. MRP schedules production as per bills of materials while minimizing inventory. So the technique is computerized and looks at requirements within a fixed period. Okay, so as what our presenter mentioned, MRP system is widely credited for playing a crucial part in decreasing factory inventory. It also assists in manufacturing industrial products that are more complex. Its focus is on what materials are required and when they need to be sourced. It is also helpful in production customization, and it has historically been seen as given additional advantage because it is known to schedule and track every order, whether for production or for purchase. Okay, so thank you for we'll discuss presentation or reports. Thank you.